Matthew, what are you hearing? And talk more about the entertainers, a famous troupe that were on this plane.
Yeah, they're called the Red Army Choir, the Alexandrov Ensemble, in fact, and it's the official choir of the Russian armed forces. They perform all around the country, and actually they perform internationally as well. And they were on their way, we understand, to Syria to stage a New Year's concert for the Russian forces that are in Latakia, where there's a big Russian airbase from which Russia has been carrying out airstrikes in support of its Syrian ally Bashar al-Assad. When the plane went down, it's pretty shocking, actually, because this is the kind of plane that, as you mentioned, me and my crew have been on several times, and other people from CNN as well. It's kind of like the Tupolev 154 is an old passenger plane, which is basically out of service in civilian use, in civilian companies. But the Russian Defense Ministry and others around the world still use them. They're extremely robust. They were the workhorse of the Soviet Union in terms of passenger aircraft. And the one or two planes that I've been on in recent years with the Defense Ministry have been, old planes from the 1970s or 80s, but they've been refitted inside, and so they look quite nice inside. And they're for VIP transport. These aren't what they shuttle ordinary troops around with. And you can see from the passenger list. Well, we haven't got the passengers, but the kind of people on board, that's exactly what this was. The orchestra, of course, the choir rather. There were journalists on board as well, who had undoubtedly been called by the Defense Ministry to come on board that plane and to report on the concert that was going to be given by the Red Army Choir. I mean, that's what normally happens. They give you a call. They say, look, we're leaving tomorrow morning. Come to the airport in Moscow, we'll get you on the plane, and you go off to Syria with them. It's happened numerous times, and it could easily have been, I don't know what journalists were involved in this trip, but the Defense Ministry decide themselves which organizations to call. They call them, and then you arrive the next day at the airport and you go off to Syria with them. And so we'll wait to see, which news organizations were called on this occasion. I expect it's probably Russian news organizations for an event like this. But, we'll do some research on that.
Matthew, is there any more information about how long this airplane flew before it disappeared, or if there was any sign of weather or any distress calls?
Well, I understand. I mean, the details are a bit sketchy yet, but I understand the plane took off as usual from Moscow. There's a military airport outside of Moscow where these planes operate from. It flew to Sochi, first of all, which is in southern Russia. It's on the coast of the Black Sea, and that's about a 2-hour flight. And so apparently it stopped there to refuel. It may have picked up some extra passengers or dropped some people off as well. And then apparently it disappeared from radar about 20 minutes after taking off from Sochi. So it really just taken off, and it was apparently just over the Black Sea, where fragments of the aircraft have now been located, according to Russian media quoting the Russian Defense Ministry. The weather was fine. Apparently, there's no indication that there was a weather reason for this. And of course, these planes are fully equipped to fly in bad weather. But we'll see what clarity comes to us.